everyone. My name is Elizabeth Van Horn. I'm the General Manager for Kettle Creek Conservation Authority. Thank you for coming out this morning. Just a couple of announcements before we begin. The elections of officers was conducted at the Authority's January 16th full Authority meeting, and at that time Stephen Harvey was elected Chair of the Board. Stephen is the representative of Middlesex Centre, and the Township of Southwold Mayor Grant Jones was elected our Vice Chair. Please join me in congratulating our new Chair and Vice Chair, and I turn the meeting over to Mr. Harvey.
Thank you very much. So nice to see so many people here. These AGMs can sometimes be not as well attended as we hope, and today I said to Elizabeth, boy, you must be doing something right, because look at all the people. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you and welcome to the 2018 Annual General Meeting of the Kettle Creek Conservation Authority. Before we get started, I would like to remind everyone that today's proceedings are recorded. Board members, staff, guests, and members of the public are reminded that the full Authority Board and Committee meeting is being recorded and will be posted to the Authority's website along with the official written minutes. As such, comments and opinions expressed may be published, and any comments expressed by individual board members, guests, and the general public are their own and do not represent the opinions or comments of the full Authority and or the KCCA Board of Directors. The recorded video of the full Authority meeting is not considered the official record of the meeting. The official record of the full Authority meeting shall consist solely of the minutes that are approved by the full Authority. And so I'm going to do some introductions and declarations of pecuniary interest. Let's start off with declarations of pecuniary interest. I've asked members if you have any, please declare them now. Seeing none. It's my pleasure to welcome you to KCCA's annual general meeting. A warm welcome and expression of gratitude to our many partners and supporters in the room today. All important elements of our success and the concerted effort to make our local watershed a healthier, happier, and greener place to work and play. Thank you. I would like to take a moment and introduce the 2019 members of the board. Okay, so as I call, if you could stand up, please. Dennis Kravitz, Central Elgin. Dominique Giguère, Township of Malahat. Grant Jones, Township of Southwold, and he's the Vice Chair. Bill Mackey from the City of London. Elizabeth Pelosa, hi Elizabeth, City of London. Joe Preston, City of St. Thomas. Linda Stevenson, City of St. Thomas. Allison Warwick, Thames Centre, and Ralph Winfield, City of London. Those were our board of directors. I came to the board of directors of Kettle Creek Conservation Authority as a member representing Middlesex Centre in 2017, and quickly learned that this organization means something to the community, whether it is flood forecasting, tree planting, recreational opportunities, or ensuring our drinking water is safe. The community looks to KCCA as our local environmental leader. As we look at the year that was, and forward to 2019, you can't help but conclude that KCCA is resourceful. We do a lot with a little. Resource conservation and management is becoming more complex. All you have to do is sit at one of our meetings to see that. In order to meet the local watershed needs in a modern context, the authority has to balance limited financial resources with the increasing pressures climate change and development has on our local environment. Let me explain. In 2018, the authority released its third watershed report card. Watershed report cards are used by CAs across the province to report on watershed health through the use of environmental indicators. It is our best way of clearly and concisely reporting on the health of the local environment and to the best of our ability and resources, how KCCA is attempting to address those issues. The environmental concerns that face our watershed are unchanged from 5 years ago. Nutrient loading of phosphorus remains a key factor in poor surface water quality. 97.9% of samples in the last 5 years exceeded the provincial water quality objective for phosphorus. Our forest cover is currently just over 14%, and GIS mapping suggests that we are losing 7.32 hectares of trees per year despite our planting efforts. Wetland cover continues to fall short of the 10% recommended by Environment Canada at just 1.34%. Our natural resources are showing the signs of stress, typical of a highly urbanized and agricultural area of Ontario. And the community is looking to KCCA to address those concerns. Much of the success that is outlined in the 2018 annual report is due to the guidance and oversight provided by the 2018 Board of Directors. I saw Dave Murray here. Is there anyone else from? Dave is a retired member of our board. Thanks, Dave. Welcome. The overall watershed grade did not change in the last 5 years, but we didn't lose any ground. We maintained a solid C grade. Just like a student struggling in math, we can't change things overnight. But I'm pleased to say, over the past 5 years, we continue to push the bar a little higher. And 2018 was no exception. This is amazing. We planted over 50,000 trees with an additional 2,200 seedlings sold over the counter through our Greening Communities program, and another 4,000 along Central Elgin and MTO roadways. One of the things that makes our tree planting program so robust is our partnership development and engagement with local school groups. Examples include planting 1,000 seedlings with Central Elgin Collegiate Institute high school students around the Fingal Wildlife Management Area, or planting 40 large stock trees in local elementary school yards. We are tackling wetland loss head on. In 2018, KCCA completed a 3-year contract with Ontario Power Generation, finishing 30 wetland projects totaling over 45 wetland cells created or restored. That's not counting the wetlands created with funding support across Central Elgin, or Elgin County, from the Elgin Clean Water Program. And the Elgin Clean Water Program is perhaps our biggest accomplishment over the past 5 years in the fight against phosphorus. Look at this stat. Since 2012, the ECWP has awarded $480,000 in grants to 175 projects, totaling $1,970,000 in total project costs. That's leveraging and partnership at its best. In 2018, we went further, providing incentives to farmers to plant cover crops that overwinter, and 540 acres of cover crops were planted. We did create a new position at the authority. Our GIS IT supervisor position has been phased in over the past 4 years. This position offers almost $195,000 in value to the authority and our member municipalities, and builds capacity within every program and service at the authority. The position is capable of interpreting aerial photographs so we can detect forest loss and direct stewardship works where they are needed most. The position can take raw data and compile it into meaningful data, the data sets that are being shared with community partners. This means we can lead by example and make the move to a more paperless office environment. It means knowledge, capacity, and efficiency. And the position is expected to generate $25,000 per year to sustain the program moving forward. The effective use of resources and our ability to generate our own financial resources will shape how this authority deals with increasing financial and environmental pressures. The authority's reserves come from 4 main sources: municipal levy, provincial transfer payment, self-generated revenue, and donations and fundraising efforts. In 2018, 34% of revenue came from municipal levy, 8% from the provincial transfer payment, leaving close to 60% generated by the staff of this authority. That diversity of revenue streams is important. An achievable target may be to keep municipal levy contribution to less than 35% of our total budget. In order to achieve this, the board, like all agencies over the coming years, will have to work harder to generate our own revenue sources, ensure that our programs and services are responding to the needs of the watershed without creating increased financial pressures. It's quite a challenge. It's a difficult balance, but one that I know this board is willing to take on, reasonably and always with the interest of the environment at the forefront. Those are my thoughts for today, folks. We're a great organization, and have great staff and great leadership.
Yes!
There you go. Thank you very much. So now comes all the important stuff. The presentation of the audited financial statement. So I'll now call upon Scott Trevor from Graham Scott, and sorry for the introduction. From Graham Scott Ends to present the 2018 audited financial statements.
I'm not going to be that excited.
Sorry.
Okay. First, I have to start by saying that the following pages are excerpts from the full audited financial statements that are going to be found on the authority's website, and that these statements were previously discussed and presented to the board at a previous board meeting, so we can do them before. Okay. So the first two pages here are what we call our independent auditor's report. Part of our due diligence, our job as auditors to present our findings of the audit, which is found in what we call our independent auditor's report. So I'll go briefly over the layout of our report and what information is contained in it. So we'll start, you see there's multiple paragraphs and it goes on to two different pages. So the first paragraph is our opinion paragraph, which is probably the most important part. Where we state our, get the lights on a little bit. Okay. Where we state, sorry, the opinion paragraph, which is the top two paragraphs there. Where we state our opinion, and it states that we issue an unqualified opinion, which is to say that these financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position and results of the authority as of December 31st, 2018, and the operations and cash flows for the year ended as well, December 31st, 2018, in accordance with the Canadian Accounting Standards for Public Sector Entities. Okay. And then this next title is our basis for opinion. This is the second paragraph, which discusses how we determine the basis of our opinion, which is to say, again, follow our Canadian auditing standards and that we are independent of the organization, which is a book of guidelines that we have to follow to make sure that we perform our audit in accordance with those. The next paragraphs are responsibilities of management and those charged with governance, which would be the board. In here it states that the financial statements and internal controls are the responsibility of these individuals. Okay. The bottom paragraph there is the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of financial statements. Okay. This is to say that we look to obtain a high level of reasonable assurance to issue our report that the financial statements are free from material misstatement due to fraud or error. So this explanation continues on page 2. And this is kind of outlines a little bit more of what our responsibilities as auditors are. So there's different points there, or bullets that just, in the titles of those bullets, I guess you could say one of them is how we use our professional judgment to identify risks, how we understand the internal controls, we evaluate accounting policies, we evaluate the going concern of the organization, and then the overall presentation of the financial statements. Just kind of a summary of what's in those paragraphs. And then the final paragraph at the bottom is just to say that any significant findings that we find during our audits, we would communicate those to the board or those charged with governance. Okay? And then be approved at the bottom there is today, February 20th, 2019. Okay? So if you get anything out of all those paragraphs, just focus on the first one, which is our unqualified opinion, which again states that the statements are free from material misstatement. Okay? Go to the next page. This is our statement of financial position, which is the assets and liabilities of the organization as of December 31st, 2018. Okay. So we have our financial assets, which are cash or short-term investments for accounts receivable, which coming out about 1.2 million, which is comparable to the prior year. The component is our liabilities, financial liabilities, which are payables and deferred revenues. 488,000, which gets you down to net financial assets of 751,000. We kind of break it up into financial assets and then intangible assets, which are their non-financial assets, or capital assets, and our prepaid inventories, which total about $3 million, for a total accumulated surplus of $3.7 million. So you'll see again that there's various notes that are referenced on here. Again, those are found in the full set of financial statements, which require some further explanation. Okay, so accumulated surplus of $3.7 million, compared to last year, 3.5. Look for the next page. Okay, your statement of operations. Which again is the revenue expenditures for the full year ended December 31st, 2018. And here we have our budget current year and our prior year. So these are broken down into revenues and expenditures. So our revenues are by type of revenue. So you have your municipal grants, your federal grants, and sort of user fees. Which get down the total of 2.6 million compared to 2.5 million the year before. And then our expenditures are broken down into what we call segments. So it comes with programs that we run. And each of those are linked to a page that kind of explains what's in more in those line items. Total expenditures of what went out, cash that we spent, 2.5 million compared to 2.4 million, with a net surplus of 155,000 compared to 135,000 the year before, which gets you down to that accumulated surplus at the end of the year, 3.7 million, which ties back to the statement of financial position. Okay. So again, all this is contained. You see the bottom of this excerpt from the financial statements. There's more notes and stuff that are attached to these tables that are done on that website if you wanted to read those. Okay? That's all the comments I have on the financial statements. Okay?
Okay, directors, this is where you have to. Ready? So we need to pass a motion. The motion is this, that the year 2017 financial statements be adopted as presented. Linda and Grant. Any questions at all? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. All set? So I'll call on Elizabeth Van Horn to bring her comments.
Mr. Chair, on behalf of staff, it is my pleasure to present to the Board of Directors the annual general report for 2018. In addition to the highlights mentioned in your opening remarks, I would draw the Board's attention to initiatives undertaken in 2018 that showcase staff's commitment to find self-generated funds to enhance our programs and services. The Environmental Youth Corps was launched with the support from the Great Lakes Guardian Community Fund. The EYC provides local high school students with meaningful environmental experience through participation in hands-on stewardship projects. 12 students participated in the program this past year. They had the opportunity to learn more about the watershed and contributed to over 170 hours to on-the-ground projects, including planting 500 shrubs around newly created wetlands, 2,000 wildflower plugs at the Dale Glen Condo Corporation, and removing 3 invasive species from Dan Patterson Conservation Area. This is a direct quote from an EYC student. I learned a lot about our local ecosystems with the EYC. It was a great way to get volunteer hours outdoors and make a difference. And I'm pleased to say that with support from the Kettle Creek Environmental Trust and a grant from the Elgin St. Thomas Community Foundation, that program will be continuing this year, so we'll be able to get more students out into the environment. The Authority has found a number of synergies with Southwestern Public Health. With funding from Ontario's Healthy Kids Community Challenge, we were able to lead 8 outdoor education programs at Dale Conservation Area this past summer. A number of those children have the opportunity to release 150 snapping turtles that were saved from precariously placed nests around the watershed. Upper Thames River Conservation Authority helped the Authority incubate those salvage eggs and allowed the babies to come home to the Kettle Creek watershed. Through that funding, through the Healthy Communities funding, we also installed a platform at Dalewood Reservoir for people to launch canoes and kayaks which they can now rent at the gatehouse. So another great opportunity to get out into nature. Our ability to educate local watershed residents on the importance of our environment and the interconnectivity between the natural world and our health and well-being continues to be enhanced with close working relationships with our school boards. A great example was Landscape on the Lake, an art-focused conference held in Port Stanley on the shores of Lake Erie. Students learned how a connection with nature can inspire their artwork. The conference was recognized this year at Conservation Ontario's Lanternal Symposium, and it's just a great relationship that we have with our local school boards. And I want to specifically thank Kettle Creek Environmental Trust. In partnership with the Trust, KCCA was able to rewild 4 families. That means 12 children who had never had the opportunity to camp before were given that opportunity and now have the camping gear to repeat the experience for their families in the future. The Trust also supports the Authority's tree planting program on a yearly basis and contributed financially to the upgrades of the Old Growth Forest Trail at Dan Patterson Conservation. And in 2019, they have confirmed a donation of $50,000 over 3 years to support the control of invasive species in the watershed. That's just a great boost to our local environment. Finally, our conservation areas continue to be campgrounds of choice, attracting over 13,000 visitors each year. Various upgrades to our facilities were undertaken, including significant refurbishments of the pool and washroom at Lake Whitaker Conservation Area. All revenue from our campgrounds is invested back into the Authority, supporting capital improvements and other programs and services. Mr. Chair, board members, I am pleased to present the 2018 annual report for your acceptance.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, directors, guess what? You have to work again. I need a nominator and a seconder for the following resolution that the year 2018 annual report be adopted as presented. Joe and Elizabeth. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Thanks, Elizabeth, for your annual report. On behalf of the 2019 Board of Directors, I think I can say that we look forward to building on the success of 2018. The 2019 budget and levy is the last year of a 4-year staged increase to support the introduction of our GIS IT position at the Authority. This position will build capacity and modernize our programs and services. The 2019 levy increase of 7%, or $63,933, is measured against a 10-year average levy increase of 3.97%, and a commitment from the staff and the Board of Directors to continue building upon existing sources of self-generated revenue. The GIS IT position itself will be generating at least $25,000 in self-generated revenue annually to support the program moving forward. The 2019 budget represents an achievable work plan with available funds. And so what I'm going to do is, directors, you've all seen the budget already. Okay, so I'm going to ask Elizabeth to read the required motion and conduct a recorded vote on the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To provide conformity with legislation and regulations governing approval of Conservation Authority levies, the proposed year 2019 levy and apportionment for KCCA was circulated by registered mail to member municipalities on January 16, 2019, in order to provide a minimum 30-day notice to budget and levy approval on February 20, 2019. There is a 7% average levy increase over 2018 levels of $63,933. A recorded vote will be taken with each member responding either for or against the motion. The motion carries or is lost according to the total of weighted votes assigned to each board member. This weighted vote is based upon the modified current value assessment apportioned to that portion of each municipality within the jurisdiction of the KCCA watershed. The 2019 levy and budget approved by the board will be circulated by registered mail to participating municipalities on February 20th, 2019, who, if not satisfied, may appeal to the Mining and Lands Commissioner by March 31st, 2019. Thereafter, no appeals are allowed, and the year 2019 budget and levy will be final. I'd ask members to consider the following motion: that the 2019 budget of the Kettle Creek Conservation Authority be approved as presented, that the member municipalities be assessed for payment in terms of a matching levy of $413,863.35, non-matching $481,932.95, a special levy of $81,464.05, for a total general levy of $977,260. And that each member municipality share of the 2019 general levy be calculated using the modified current value assessment. Have a mover and a seconder.
Director's mover, Dennis, seconder, Bill.
As mentioned, it's a recorded vote, and so I will call members' names. Please respond in favor or opposed. Bill Mackey.
Yes.
Elizabeth Pelosa. Yes. Ralph Winfield.
Yes.
Joe Preston.
Yes.
Linda Stevenson.
Yes.
Dennis Kravets.
Yes.
Grant Jones.
Yes.
Allison Warwick.
Yes.
Dominique Giguere.
Yes.
Stephen Harvey.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'm pleased to report the motion passes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now comes the fun stuff. Not that the past half an hour has been not enough fun. But this is the really, really important stuff. We're going to talk about some staff recognition. All you have to do is walk through the door of KCCA to recognize the strength of the staff. And it's always nice to get a pat on the back from those who are not your work partners, but rather those who see what you do. And this is an opportunity for us to recognize some special individuals from KCCA. Cliff Patterson. Cliff has reached a milestone today. He is the GIS and IT supervisor, and this year marks his 5th year of service with the authority. 5 years. Cliff started on a 1-year contract with the authority back in 2014 under a funding contract. The position and the expertise he has brought to the authority means KCCA is now a leader in UAV mapping and erosion modeling. All services that we hope to share with our neighboring CAs and other municipalities. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Michael Weiss. Come on up, Michael. Michael is the Lake Whitaker Conservation Area Coordinator, and this marks his 10th year of service with the authority. Michael's dedication to customer service has helped to shape Lake Whitaker Conservation Area into more than just a campground. It's a recreational destination. Congratulations, Michael. We're getting big checks in those envelopes, right? Scott Pennell.
There we go.
Scott Pennell, the authority's maintenance coordinator, he's one of the really important guys around. He's the maintenance coordinator and health and safety rep. Also marks 10 years of service this year. In recent years, Scott has become well-versed in the art of sustainable trail building. So the next time you take a hike on the Dalewood Reservoir Trail or experience the new Old Growth Trail at Dan Patterson Conservation, take a minute and thank Scott for his time and energy. Congratulations, Scott. Betsy McClure. She always has a smile on her face. Betsy is a stewardship program supervisor and celebrates 15 years of service. Betsy plays a role in many different programs and services at the authority, but is known for her excellence in organizing large-scale events, such as the Carolinian Water Festival, and her oversight of the Alvin Clean Water Program and various outreach and education opportunities. Congratulations, Betsy. They're all so great. 5, 10, 15. Do we have any over 15? Maybe. So now,
Actually, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt the flow, but the business portion of the meeting is finished.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if we can adjourn, because I know some members need to get to some other meetings, so we'll adjourn and then we'll enjoy the special presentation.
Sure.
we have.
okay, we can do that. So do I need a motion to adjourn?
Yes, the motion to adjourn.
Okay. Elizabeth, Joe seconded. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, so our meeting is officially adjourned.